For an entire generation of television fans, the world was navigated with the help of a very specific guide, a mentor who provided wisdom, patience, and a sense of security during a confusing era. On June 5, 2026, that presence was lost. Anthony Stewart Head passed away at the age of 72, following complications from pneumonia. His career spanned 4 decades, moving from a beloved supernatural protector to some of modern television's most calculating villains. The tributes that followed his passing focused on the personal connection he forged with his audience, describing a man who had become a surrogate father to millions he'd never met. Born in London in 1954 to a creative family, performance was part of his early life. Long before Hollywood recognized him, he spent years refining his craft in stage productions, experiencing the typical uncertainty of a working actor searching for a breakout role. His first major wave of recognition came from an unlikely source, a series of romantic advertisements for Gold Blend coffee in the late 1980s. These mini-stories became a staple of British television, making him a household name in the UK. But the role that would define him globally was still years away. This constant movement between stage and screen helped him develop a specific type of vulnerability, a way of acting that allowed audiences to see themselves in even his most authoritative characters. In 1997, Buffy the Vampire Slayer premiered. It moved past the typical constraints of the supernatural teen genre, eventually changing the way television narratives were constructed. The emotional weight of the series centered on the character of Rupert Giles. Working alongside Sarah Michelle Gellar, he portrayed a watcher, a teacher, and a protector navigating a dangerous world. Giles resonated because he was allowed to be human. He struggled with his responsibilities, made significant mistakes, and frequently doubted his own ability to lead. Decades later, fans still gather in these spaces to quote his dialogue and discuss the impact his character had on their lives. By portraying a mentor who was as vulnerable as he was wise, Head became the steady, reliable guardian for a generation of viewers who needed one. He avoided being restricted by a single genre, moving from the library of Buffy to the throne room of Merlin, where he played the complicated and often cold King Uther Pendragon. He later reached a new audience in Ted Lasso, playing the powerful and dismissive Rupert Mannion. In this role, he replaced the warmth of Giles with a sharp, manipulative edge, creating one of the show's most effective antagonists. Whether he was playing a hero or a villain, his strength was the ability to inject a recognizable humanity into every archetype he inhabited. Despite his international profile, he remained dedicated to his private life with his partner, Sarah, and their daughters, Emily and Daisy. Both daughters followed him into the acting profession, continuing the creative path he helped establish. Colleagues and friends consistently described him as generous and supportive, noting that he often prioritized the well-being of those around him on set. The qualities of the mentor that audiences admired on screen were a direct reflection of how he lived his actual life. On June 5, 2026, his daughters announced that he had passed away peacefully, surrounded by his family. The response was immediate and global. Former castmates shared their grief, while fans posted stories about how his work helped them through their own difficult years. This loss felt personal to millions because his presence on screen provided a sense of safety and guidance that felt real. He proved that strength, kindness, and wisdom could exist within the same person, making the fictional worlds he inhabited feel grounded in truth. Anthony Stewart Head is gone, but the sense of security he provided and the lessons he taught will remain a permanent part of the lives he touched.